Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just went and I heard about the best chicken fingers in my town. My 8-year-old is a chicken finger connoisseur, I think you would call him. And so I told him I was going to take him to have these chicken fingers. And I told the lady there, I said, I heard they're the best chicken fingers in town. And she said that they probably are. We ate them, and he looked at me and he said, yep, Daddy, these are the best I've ever had. And so we found it. Maybe some of the best in the Southeast United States. Now, XRP is, the market itself is pretty stable. It's been at around 650 billion. XRP has been, I don't even want to call it dumping based on what has occurred the last 24 hours. I'm shocked at how, let me take that wrong word. I'm not shocked that it didn't do it. I'm more like, okay, so XRP didn't just, I've seen a dump and this was not a dump. XRP didn't just fly down to some crazy figure overnight. And the SEC literally just announced, and we have it right here. SEC just came out. It says, SEC charges Ripple and 2 executives with conducting $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. And then people are just bashing the SEC. Now, and you need to think about this, the backdrop of this. Here's a company who from its inception has worked from day one. In fact, Greg Kidd said when I talked to him, and he said in several interviews, I think, that from day one, they went straight to the Treasury. So here's a company that has worked hand in hand with regulators from day one, has been above board, has been right there in front of them. And this is what makes it so fishy. It makes me think that this was all kind of, it's part of a plan in some kind of way. So they work hand in hand with them for 7 or 8 years. And then out of nowhere, they just completely turn their back on these guys and charge them. Doesn't make any sense. And when things don't make sense, the digital asset investors' antenna go up, and they're up right now. Okay, I wanted to show you this and what it says. And as we look at this, I want you to think about something that I've said 1,000 times on this channel. It never made any sense to me, this idea that here's this startup. First of all, this startup that's going to be allowed to have their own digital currency, and then openly, not in secret, but openly, and put out reports and sell this digital asset all these years. Nobody does anything. They sit there and stare at it. They actually have meetings with them. Brad Garlinghouse has had meetings, I believe, with the SEC and the Treasury Department, okay? People from Ripple. There was a meeting where David Schwartz was with Brad Garlinghouse. And then out of nowhere, after 7 or 8 years, you just turn around and say, okay, we're going to charge you now. No, that defies logic. It doesn't make any sense. And all the conversations I've had on this today, that's the theme, is that something's not right here. It doesn't make sense, which means that there's something else in play. It says SEC charges Ripple and 2 executives with conducting $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. According to the SEC's complaint, Ripple's Christian Larson, the company's co-founder, executive chairman of the board, and its former CEO, Bradley Garlinghouse, the company's current CEO, raised capital to finance the company's business. The complaint alleges that Ripple raised funds beginning in 2013 through the sale of digital assets known as XRP in an unregistered securities offering to investors in the U.S. and worldwide. All right. And as you go down here, this is what the most important part is, in my opinion. The SEC's complaint, filed today in federal district court in Manhattan, charges defendants with violating the registration provisions of the Securities Act of 1933 and seeks injunctive relief, disgorgement with prejudgment interest, and civil penalties. Okay? This is the word that I'm most interested in because I didn't know the definition of it, and I decided to look it up. And as we know here, words mean things. Disgorge. The word disgorge means to give up or reveal something on request or under pressure. And the example they use is the Times was threatened with its $5,000 a day fine if it failed to obey a court order in New Jersey to disgorge the name of one of its news sources. Well, when I think of disgorge with in relation to XRP, what is it that could be revealed? And that could be the XRP Escrow is what that could be. I believe that this is all about the XRP Escrow. XRP Bart sent me this. This is from David Schwartz, and he makes a good point here. The United States is one of the few countries where regulators will, after years of you operating in full light of day and frequently updating them on everything you're doing, turn around and tell you that you should have known what you were breaking decades-old laws all along. Okay? He makes an extremely valid point there. Riz XRP sent me this from Emi Yoshikawa. Now, she is one of the people that works for Ripple out of Japan. And this is, she's retweeting Stuart Alvaradi's tweet. Remember how he said, goodbye Howey test, hello Ripple test. Well, she says, as an industry leader, we will pave the way for the crypto asset industry so that the new Ripple test will become the standard for crypto asset classification instead of the Howey test, which was the case more than 70 years ago. Goodbye Howey test, hello Ripple test. Is that what this is all about? So then we have this, X-Men XRP, and I just wanted to make this point. X-Men XRP sent me this, and I've made this point for a long time. So, and the question's this, is the United States or any other country going to let a company, especially a startup, create a digital currency and then sit on billions and billions of that digital currency until it runs up to, say, $100, and when the when the company then becomes worth more than a country is that going to be allowed? In the history of the United States, that kind of, anytime a company gets too big, the U.S. government will go in and try to break it up. 15 companies the U.S. government tried to break up as monopolies. Let's just look at a few. Standard Oil, 1911. AT&T, 1984. Microsoft, 2001. American Tobacco, 1911. Northern Securities, 1904. Swift & Company, 1905. Pixar, Adobe, Apple, Google, Intel, Intuit, and Pixar, 2010. Kodak, 1921. Alcoa, 1945. And the question I ask you is, how is Ripple any different when they're sitting on that much escrow and prices are seen to be taking off? And Ripple has made no secret from day one that most importantly, they remain more committed than ever to the simple goal of making XRP the world's reserve digital currency, when the world reserve currency status is the most coveted thing that the United States financial system has. How would they not do it? And this is the golden goose right here. This is what this is all about. And who knows, it could have been a plan all along for everybody involved. I don't know. Then Brad Garlinghouse was on CNBC today, and here's what he says about it.
We bring in Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, for a first on CNBC interview. Brad, welcome. Good to have you with us. And this is an interesting story. I'm going to pick up where Kate just left off, which was the idea that investors may have thought that in buying XRP, they were buying a security that gave them shares or some ownership in Ripple. Why is that wrong on its face?
Well, first of all, Tyler, thanks for having me. I think this is an important issue. And I think there has been confusion out there. Ripple, the company, as Kate introduced, we have shareholders. We've raised capital from venture capitalists, from actually institutions, and even banks like Standard Chartered is a shareholder. XRP is a separate thing altogether. It is a currency that trades in the marketplace. In the last 8 years, over $1 trillion of the currency has traded. And so what we find is, the SEC, in my opinion, having watched this for many, many years, taking a position now that is, frankly, I think, with one foot out the door, a little bit incredible to kind of take the position after 8 years.
There are a variety of cryptocurrencies, including XRP and obviously Bitcoin and others. Why do you think the SEC is it something in the structure of your business that makes the SEC concerned that there may be a securities violation of some sort in here? What's different about the way you are structured that would cause them to potentially file a suit?
Well, about 2.5 years ago, a little over 2.5 years ago, the SEC came out proactively and said they did not view Bitcoin as a security. They viewed it as a commodity or currency. Shortly thereafter, they came out and said Ether, the second most valuable cryptocurrency, is also not a security. They then have spent the last 2.5 years going after kind of enforcement by saying that certain initial coin offerings were securities offerings. And actually, I've spoken out in favor of that because I think in many cases those were, in fact.
All right, so here's part two.
No, please.
Of that because I think in many cases those were, in fact. XRP, however, is almost undistinguishable from what is Ether in terms of its decentralization, in terms of the breadth of activity. It's traded on a couple hundred exchanges around the world. And what's amazing to me is not a single other country anywhere has looked at XRP as a security. You've had countries like the UK and Japan and Switzerland and Singapore all come out and say things that make it clear that XRP is a currency. Actually, one of the nuggets I think is interesting is even here in the U.S., the Department of Justice has viewed XRP as a currency, and the Department of Treasury has viewed XRP as a currency. Sorry, Kate.
That's right, Brad. Kate here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. I want to ask you, you mentioned some of those exchanges. I want to ask you about the broader implications for others in the industry. Coinbase is a big name we talk about a lot. They see about 12% of their trading volume in XRP. That company is about to IPO. What would this mean to some of the global exchanges that hold XRP or facilitate trading of XRP on those exchanges?
So about 95% of XRP trading happens outside the United States on exchanges around the world. And so that's outside of the United States SEC jurisdiction. For exchanges like Coinbase that are based here in the United States, one of the reasons why I view this as something that's broader than just, hey, what does this mean for Ripple and XRP? It's what does this mean for the crypto industry here in the United States? The SEC is really picking winners. They're saying there's a duopoly of Bitcoin and Ether are the two digital assets, the cryptocurrencies that will be not regulated by the SEC here in the United States. And it really, I think, sends an ominous sign for innovation around cryptocurrency in the United States. Picking winners in general has not been something the U.S. government should be in the business of doing.
What will happen?
And you mentioned before that
Go ahead, Kate.
Oh, sorry, Tyler.
All right, and here's the last part.
Though that XRP could really go on without Ripple. You know, if you guys sold all of your holdings of XRP, that cryptocurrency could survive. Would you ever consider doing that, divesting all of your cryptocurrency holdings and really focus more on your enterprise payments business? Is that something that Ripple has considered or could do?
It's certainly, I think, one of the ironies of all of this is that for XRP to be a security of a company, the company has to exist. And the point that I have made at various times is that if Ripple, the company, didn't exist, XRP would still thrive around the globe with, a couple hundred exchanges around the world. And there's over 100 different projects, innovative entrepreneurs here in the US and around the world building on top of XRP. And the reason why they're doing that is because XRP is far more efficient in terms of speed, in terms of cost, to settling transactions and using it really as a currency. The power consumption, as has been widely reported, of a Bitcoin transaction is dramatically different and costs a lot more.
All right, folks, we got to leave it there. Brad Garlinghouse, thank you for your time today. I'm sure this will be one we'll be following up on. And Kate Rooney, thank you as well.
Okay, so that was interesting. Then there's several people that said some interesting things about what all is going on. This is Anders L. We have the Bitcoin people feeling threatened, and then they have Ethereum feeling threatened with an open attack by Vitalik. I understand it because this lawsuit will most likely lead to a slap on the wrist fine. XRP will continue, and XRP plus Spark will replace the use of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bingo. All right, and then we have this. Brad Garlinghouse had, actually, this is a Bitcoin maxi that actually took a good take on all this. Brad Garlinghouse says, I appreciate you saying what this could mean for the larger U.S. crypto industry. The SEC is doing the opposite of fostering innovation here in the U.S. It's not just XRP they're attacking here. We're in this together. This is Ryan Selkis. We're in this together to draw lines of regulatory demarcation. XRP as a security further hurts the U.S. businesses while global comps will continue to make these markets. XRP as a security also means other assets will meet the same fate, etc. And I won't go into the rest of that. I just wanted to try to get through all of these. This is another point I wanted to make here that I saw today. This is from CoinDesk. Coinbase pre-IPO futures gained over 140% from their $125 listing price on FTX in the first hour of trading Tuesday, with over 2.2 million in volume. So people are jumping into this Coinbase pre-IPO area. And I wanted to bring up that that's why I've been talking about like what Link to these platforms like Link2 are doing. Here's the handle, and it's linqto.com. But anyway, they've got Uphold, which is another major exchange on their platform. And so it's something that's private equity. So it's something to think about going forward when you're watching what's going on with Coinbase. And then Chris P sent me this. This is an interesting little thread. Fun conspiracy stuff. SEC's suit requires U.S. exchanges temporarily, and this is just a conspiracy right here, okay? SEC's suit requires U.S. exchanges temporarily stop U.S. customers from buying, trading XRP, freezing all American ownership of XRP in its tracks other than those with cold storage. Newcomers can't buy XRP. Existing holders can't easily increase holdings, creating, in effect, the greatest scarcity of XRP to date. Supply decreases, price increases for that reason, and increased demand elsewhere in the globe. Perhaps a major event announcement. XRP demand by retail and institutional buyers outside the U.S. skyrockets, leaving U.S. holders with fat stacks while delaying any new would-be American XRP owners from getting into the game until prices have already ramped up, drastically decreasing the amount of XRP that they could buy relative to elsewhere. What better way to redistribute XRP opportunity across the globe? That was an interesting thread. And then Mark Phillips, he says, Bitcoin hash power is centralized in China. Russia promotes Ethereum. XRP was developed by Ripple in the U.S. Aside from XRP's obvious technological advantages, faster, cheaper, more scalable, and energy efficient, which crypto offers the U.S. the best strategic geopolitical opportunity? He's got a picture with Putin and Vitalik Buterin. And I don't think the U.S. doesn't know about these things. Michelle VanDenberg sent me this from David Liu. Imagine the bull run when Ripple gets fined and XRP gets a clarifying green light. Exactly. Michelle VanDenberg, here's another one. This Ripple and XRP exposure happening is great. Two things can happen here. XRP get deemed a security in the USA. They pay a small fine and carry on in other countries that accept them with open arms. They win and get clarity we've been waiting for. I'm not worried. Neither is the digital asset investor. Now, let's do a little flashback from Coining 203. I'm just saying, these are some guys on stage at Swell. I believe that's Swell 2018, maybe?
So maybe a fun question. From each of your perspectives, do you think XRP is a security? And if you had to guess, what would you think the SEC would say?
Start with our SEC expert, Mike.
I don't think XRP is a security. I think XRP is a currency, and the reason why is when you think about the test that was laid out by the Supreme Court in 1946 in the SEC v. Howey, which is, you've probably all heard of the Howey test. It's a 4-factor test: investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits based on the efforts of others. And you have to satisfy all 4 prongs. So if one of those prongs is not there, you're not a security. So with XRP, Ripple could go away and XRP would still exist. And so there's no efforts of others in my mind.
Exactamundo. And then there was this one from Chinu Patel. Who says XRP is not a security? Japan's FCA, UK's FSB, US FinCEN, US former CFTC chair, former SEC government Michael Deduick, who's the guy that was speaking in that video I just showed you, G20 regulators, and I can give you one more, Tom Emmer in the U.S. Congress.
I'd say over 2 years. First off, my position's very clear. XRP is not a security, all right? But even if you want to do this, you want to have this discussion, the SEC, my frustration is you probably have heard very directly, you brought up in a very nice way. Maybe you should be doing this job and I should be doing that one because I'm not going to be so nice. Over 2 years is not only a problem, it is absolutely unacceptable. Because what this does is entrepreneurs like you and everybody else on this town hall, you start looking elsewhere. Money will go where it's easiest to flow. And the more the government puts in obstacles, and one of them is just inaction, the less opportunity we have to position the U.S. as the leader. And it's an obstacle to growth. So we're going to keep working. Really appreciate all your support.
All right. So you heard it there. Now, Ledger, the people at Ledger, they put this out today. We deeply apologize for the situation. They're talking about the hack that they had of people's names and addresses and all that. However, we must now look ahead and take steps towards dealing with the breach to minimize impact. This article details how you can act from your side. And they give you 6 little things there. And I wanted to remind everybody in this Christmas sale, it's at the very top of the description of my video. There's a Christmas sale. These are pure VPNs. You can surf the web anonymously. It gives you an anonymous IP. You can literally pick where in the world you're surfing from when you get this. And this is what I do to protect myself so people can't see where you're surfing. That's how these hackers target you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family. There is a Christmas sale. It's 88% off for Pure VPN. It's right there in the description of this video. Thank you for listening.